Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Sarah Jane from Misunderstood. Now I'm sure the title has got you thinking, so how many still believe ADHD is a lie or not? You can decide for yourself after this video. So be sure to subscribe to my channel and leave any comments below. Now we know there are differences in the structure, functionality, activation and connectivity in the brain of a person with ADHD. In other words, the brain is wired differently. Now an ADHD brain craves stimulation. At times it feels like the brain is never satisfied. Now it's the brain that regulates our responses to stimulation, but the brain needs to be engaged in order to function well. For a person to be able to take in any information, the brain has to be alert and receptive, which is a weakness in ADHD. This means they're not receiving enough stimulation to wake up the brain to take in the information. Now this is the most misunderstood part of ADHD, because even though the label states attention deficit, which is wrong, if anything we have a massive amount of attention to a point where too much attention is applied to a particular task and the world just goes by. Now an ADHD brain has its own rules. They're motivated by their own search of stimulation and not what others feel is important. This is why many children with ADHD have so much difficulty within the education system, because it's so boring, so they can't take in the information. But the lessons they enjoy, they will take part and put 100% into, because their brain is now stimulated and will absorb it, because they find it interesting. Now this is cognitive arousal, which is the state where we are exploring, learning and discovering the world around us. This is how we learn new things. Now this will only happen to an ADHD brain if there's a general interest in the subject. They don't make a conscious choice not to take in the information. They just have no interest. Can't wake the brain up to absorb the information. To understand the behaviours of a person with ADHD, you need to understand the needs and wants of the individual. No two brains think the same. Let's have a look at learning from experience. Now learning from experience is the basis for good decision making. But that doesn't happen with someone with ADHD. Previous consequences doesn't stop them making the same decision again and again. Consequences are overshadowed by the individual's own pursuit for pleasure, whether it's through sensation or hyperactivity. ADHD brains compel their owners to scan the environment for engaging stimulation, which is a reason that many young children with hyperactive ADHD always end up in trouble, because they're drawn towards where the excitement is, very often ending up in the youth offending service. Now I am going to be making a video on ADHD and the justice system, but that will be available on my channel in the next couple of weeks. So now even though a person with inattentive ADHD might not be hyperactive, they have generally got that many things going round in their head at once. They will be hyperactive internally, making their emotions run wild. A reason why they can be diagnosed with emotionally unstable personality disorder, and that's what they'll be treated for, and the ADHD will be missed. Now this is far higher in girls. Other issues for people with ADHD is judgmental people when they say things like, oh, you can do it if you want to. Well, yes, you can. But when the brain becomes bored of the activity you're doing, it shuts off. You have no interest. Novelty is short-lived. The procrastination is another major issue in ADHD. They want to get the task done, but struggle to get started until the deadline gets closer. Now this is only a fraction of what ADHD is. I do hope you've learnt something from listening. Tell me what you think in the comments below. And if you want to know more on these topics, then fill in the contact form on the website or on Facebook. Give it a thumbs up below, subscribe to my channel, and most importantly, click the bell to be notified of new videos.